Hey, what's up everybody? This is Ryan Miller from Ryan Miller Yoga. I'm a yoga teacher here on the internet. And in this video, I'm talking mainly to runners about why your hamstrings are always tight and why even if you've been doing some yoga, you maybe haven't found any relief from your tight hamstrings. So first, let's talk about why do runners' hamstrings get tight? Typically, it's because of the way they run. It's how you stride. It's about your form and your technique. So typically what we'll see with a lot of runners is what we call an overstride, which means firing the quad, landing on the heel out in front of your center of mass, and then you have to use your hamstring to pull yourself forward. So this creates a lot of tension and a lot of tightness in the hamstring. So what's happening is essentially when you land with your leg out in front of you like this, your hamstring is at its most stretched potential. It's at its longest length, right? You can feel that if you want to stand up and do this in your body. You can bend one leg, your hamstring is shortening now, and then extend that leg out. Now the hamstring is lengthening. So when you run and land like this, you're constantly stretching your hamstrings, stretching your hamstrings, stretching your hamstrings. Of course, they feel tight. You've been pulling them tight like a rubber band for your whole run. And then it compounds over the course of many runs. So runners go through that form. They have that technique. They don't work on their form. They just keep running and trying to fix the problems by stretching. And for years, for decades, there's been a big debate in the running community about is stretching good, is stretching bad? Should you stretch, should you not stretch? There's a lot of opinions out there and it can be confusing for younger runners or new runners to understand what exactly to do. Some runners have gotten worse from stretching, many runners have gotten better from stretching. So typically when you go to a yoga class, most yoga classes now overemphasize forward folding and stretching the back part of the body, right? So you go to your class and do your forward folds, right? You do all that, you go into your downward dog, you do about 50 downward dogs in the yoga class. Come out, you feel generally better, but your hamstrings are still tight. And the reason your hamstrings stay chronically tight is because you keep on stretching them. And that's where things get a little counterintuitive. You keep on stretching your hamstrings and they never get a chance to fully relax. Let me show you what I mean. If your hamstring's already tight from doing this, right? And you've been stretching it while you run. Then you go to work or to school and get the chair out. You go to work or to go to school and you sit in a chair. And again, this is almost like a forward fold. Right, so I'm stretching the hamstring even more, right, because I'm in this position where my hamstring is lengthened. So I'm not doing any favors by sitting down, by driving, sitting at a desk, whatever. When you're at a desk, your legs are in front of you, your arms are in front of you, everything is out in front of you. Just like when you run with bad form, everything's happening out in front of you. Your leg is reaching out in front of you. So what that means is the whole back side of your body is getting stretched. And the front side of your body is getting tighter. It's contracting. So for balance, when we talk about balance in yoga, to balance yourself as a runner who sits at a desk all the time or a lot, you don't need to stretch your hamstrings more. You need to stretch your hamstrings less. It's counterintuitive. You need to stretch your hamstrings less. So what you need to stretch more of is your quads and your hip flexors, and you need to stretch the front part of your body, right? And this is sort of the less fun poses in yoga. People don't really like doing these poses because this is really what you need, right? People love a good inhale, exhale, forward fold. People love this. When you come down though, and do the opposite, so I just stretch the back part of my body and it feels good because that's what I do all day, stretch the back, that's what I'm used to. If I were to come into a camel pose, that's a more difficult stretch for me because I rarely stretch the front part of my body. This is the opposite of what I'm doing all day. This is the opposite of what I'm doing on a run. This is the opposite of what I'm doing in my chair, at my desk, or in my car, okay? So stretching that front part of the body will help the backside relax. It'll help it get shorter, right? So one simple stretch you can do, this used to be one of the main stretches runners would do. Simple quad stretch. We've moved away from it for whatever reason, but now here, see, my quads are much tighter than my hamstrings as a runner. They're actually much, shouldn't say tighter, much shorter. They're contracted more. They're more tense. The hamstring is actually very long. My quad is short, so what I need to stretch to create balance is the quad, stretching that front part of the body. And you can see my imbalances are typical of most runners in that when I do a quad stretch, I can't even get my knees really parallel with each other. Right, so I'm super tight in the front through the hip flexors, really tight through here. As far as the forward fold, you know, it's really no problem. Got to bend my knees a little, but that's far easier for me than the quad stretch. So think about stretching your quads, stretch your quads after you run. Back off a little bit if you have hamstring issues on the constant stretching. You're probably just making it worse. I'm going to show you one more nice and easy. So if you have a lot of hamstring pain and they feel tight, and even this is hard because you're balancing on one leg or whatever, you can come down onto your belly, onto the floor. Just simply bend your knees. And even if you just stay here and breathe, this can be a good one. So right now my hamstrings are short. I took some of the length away so they're nice and soft, nice and relaxed. And just breathe into it. And if you'd like, you can add windshield wipers with the feet. So something simple, again, it's just about giving your muscle a break. And it's about giving the muscles that are barking at you a rest and a break, and taking the tension. If you imagine an elastic band pulled all the way tight, that's your hamstring when it's in pain. And what this does is take that tension out and relaxes it so your hamstring can heal and recover. The same will go for most other areas of the body. Wherever you feel the pain, the tightness might be on the opposite side, it might be pulling, so it's really gets complex. That's why it's important for you to body sense, learn your body, learn the signals it's giving you. Every teacher is just going to be a guide to help you, but hopefully this gives you a different way to think about your hamstring pain as a runner and give you some stretches you can do that are actually going to help you. You know, if you've been doing yoga for a month and haven't had any relief from your hamstring pain, it's probably because in your yoga class you're doing too much stretching, too much forward folding, too much downward dog, seated forward fold and all that. You're just continuing to stretch the back part of your body that's probably too stretched. It's not the case for everybody. Everybody's different, but the majority of people who, especially who are runners and who sit down a lot throughout the day, you're going to have a very overstretched back part of your body. Your lower back glutes, hamstrings all the way down, and a tight, contracted chest and hip flexor area. That's pretty much it. It's a real simple concept. It's basically just about giving relief to the muscles that are in pain and stretching the opposing muscles so you can create more balance in the body. So if you have any questions, just post a comment below. I would love to, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel. The more people who subscribe, that's motivation for me to keep going and keep doing this. It takes a lot of work to get these videos up, so appreciate the support. And any questions or injuries you want me to address in upcoming videos, just post them in the comments down below. All right? Happy running out there. Be safe, be smart, train smart, and we'll see you on the next one.